What is going on, Lunatic Fringe? So, controversy has erupted in Terra Luna Classic. We've got validators going off, accusing other validators. Are they outright accusations? No, they're just kind of backhanded sort of comments. We're going to break this down for you, and there's a proposal up right now which is causing a lot of polarity in people's opinions. And listen, you're entitled to have your opinion. I'm going to wrap this up in a pretty little bow for you. I can't tell you how to vote, who you should validate with, or anything like that. I will tell you what my opinion is. You can take that for what you will. And by the way, it is okay if we disagree because we're all voting on the same thing every single time. And if there ever comes a point where it's just untenable and we can't work it out, and we can't figure out the path forward, then we just part ways and we decide one of us has got to go, right? Or we just keep voting and we just keep staying stagnant. And, we'll pull it up on the chart. Like, you can see what's going on and you can see how we're doing. And by the way, when I say look at the chart, I think you already know what my opinion is going to be. So make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Let's go. Now, before we get started, if you are interested, and I know that some of you are interested in burns, and you think that the most important fundamental thing about Luna Classic is being able to burn some of the crypto that we have, to burn some of that Luna Classic every single day. But guess what? I'm giving you a place right now where all you have to do is come to this location right now and start to engage with it. That ad up there, that ad down here, that's what pays for the burns. Now, if you don't care about burning any Luna Classic, perfectly fine. If you do care about it, then you should be on this site. And this site doesn't cost you anything. You're not paying to do it. You're not attaching your wallet. You're not doing anything. All you're doing is coming to this website right here, which would, of course, cause you to engage with this ad right here, this ad right here. Click it if you want to. Don't if you don't. But come here and then start to look at the articles that there are down here. It keeps you up to date on everything going on in crypto. So I would implore you that if you want to burn more Luna Classic, this is the place that will do a significant burn. And by the way, when I say that we'll do a significant burn, let's look at what they've done for the month. They've burned 4.5 million so far for this month. And if you are a fan of SHIB, they've burned 22 million SHIB. So if you're holding both, by the way, why are you not here already? Like, make it make sense, So go to trobits.com, links in the description down below today. All right, so the big news is top validator flags controversial Terra Luna Classic proposal. Now, the top validator is Mr. Diamond Hands. In an X post, Mr. Diamond Hands, who runs lunklive.org, called the proposal one of the worst in recent times. Now, this proposal is to create a Terra Classic sub-DAO. This is to establish the sub-DAO initiative aimed at organizing and decentralizing key responsibilities for the Terra Classic blockchain. And what they're looking for is something that can be done immediately, that doesn't have to go. Things, items, pieces that need a steering committee. Let me go back to square one here. It is 2025 in the United States of America. In fact, it's 2025 in almost every place in the world. I think it's like 70, 70, 77, 77, 77 in one of those Ooga Booga places because they don't keep the calendars the same way. But generally speaking, it's 2025 everywhere, and we don't have a website. So let's just, at the end of this, one of my final arguments will be it's 2025 and we don't even have a website, okay? So that's going to be one of my arguments for this entire thing. And by the way, if you're wondering, is Luna Classic a top 100 crypto? Not anymore. It's in the top 200. But the funny thing about the top 200, 199 of them, even the stable coins, have a website. The only single entity in the top 200 that does not have a website is Luna Classic. Now, if you don't even have the basics, do you deserve to even be in the top 200? There's a question for you. Now, again, this is a pet peeve of mine that we have a lot of people crying for decentralization. We have a lot of people crying for a bit more centralization because in order for us to progress, we need to have somebody leading the ship. There's a difference of opinion right here, but we can all agree that it's 2025 and Terra Luna Classic in all its glory doesn't even have a website. And the people who are arguing amongst each other haven't done anything to fix that for you in over 2 years. Keep that in mind. Now, here's how the voting's going. Again, you should vote, and based on your opinion, you should also give to the people who that validate with the same opinion of yours. So we've got a no here with 0 fees in USTC, burn it all, add val, modern Joseph node with no's. We've got yeses, Terra Vita, Classic Nodes, Juris Protocol, Lunk Goblins, Firefly Capital, Garuda Universe, TDR, Battle Force, Galactic Shift, Terra Classic by Lunanauts, Frag Ecosystem, LVS. No with veto, we've got Jesus is Lord and Jesus is Lord too, because, you know. Then we've got Alpine Digital and PL8 App Lunk Validator. And then we've got Abstain over here, Interstellar Burrito, Terra Casino. Some of these people are sitting on the sidelines. Don't really care. Don't really care what. And again, not everybody is going to care, but there's now 1 day and 17 hours left, and we're at this point not going to make the pass threshold. Now, in the event that were to happen, remember Lunk Live has for some reason not voted yet, so we're gonna have to see whether. And by the way, their vote is going to either be no or no with veto, so it really doesn't matter one way or another. It is going no. So the question is, will people step in and create leadership where no leadership exists? And no leadership exists because we want it to be decentralized. That's the ultimate goal. But before we get going, let's kick off a few more things. The favorability pairing with Bitcoin right now is not at a 7-day high, but it's looking pretty good. Looks like we've had a nice little recovery off of it for the 1 month. It's starting to peak above. We're starting to see some positivity in our comparison. Now, that could be partially because Bitcoin is dipping more than Luna Classic is, so that's not really something to brag about, but still holding strong, so cool. On the Commonwealth, there are a couple of different things that were on here before that are not here. Clarification on entities with Terra Classic branding, and then Jesus is Lord Inspire Super Duper tax raise. This was the add more taxes because Binance burning them. And then for the meme coins, you can see right here, a lot of it's just kind of down today. Garuda down, Lunk up a little bit. And Hera also having a nice little surge right now, but generally speaking, we're still lift-off phase, that exit liquidity type level. Now, let's get into some price action. And anybody who tells you that decentralization is working better be telling you that from up here, but they're not, right? You want to talk about decentralization and how everything's going to be fine from up here. When you're telling me decentralization works and it's awesome, sure shit shouldn't be down here, should it? Now, if you're saying, well, the price doesn't actually matter, the price is everything, okay? Let me tell you what we have over the course of 2.5, right? The only thing that Luna Classic needed for revitalization was to be an ecosystem that was easy to onboard new people, number one. Number two, a repeg in order to reduce some of the supply in order to create inherent value between the two different coins in the ecosystem, and that being USTC currently and LUNC, and then to have a functioning and usable website so that people could find us. Now, has anything in 2.5 years from the current groups of people been accomplished? Now, when we talk about Happy Caddy Crypto, he's given us Lunk Dash. He's given us the Lunk app. He's given us ability to play, if you will, in this ecosystem and to do things. When you talk about RexYZ, guys like that, they've given you Terraport.finance, where you can go to buy all major utility and meme coins in this ecosystem. You want to be entertained? One of these guys has provided you with Terra Casino. We've given you Rocket Defense. Here's the token for the Garuda X ecosystem and Big Bang X. I'm sorry, what about Juris Protocol, the new lending and borrowing app coming to Luna Classic? And the point is, there's people who have built in this ecosystem. You have games, you have utilities, you have reasons for people to do stuff, okay? So there are people out here who have built things, and we've built it so that they will come. And, you know, in some instances, people didn't come. People didn't come because the market was not set for it. Now, if your argument for the entirety of what I'm saying and the reason that I'm wrong is the exact reason that I just gave you for why it didn't pump, that's fine. That's fine. If you think that's going to be the case, and if you think that I'm reducing my guess as to, I gave you a prediction a long time ago that I thought that we could get to 2.7 cents. I have since reduced that to 2.7 cents. I've taken away 10x or 100x from what my estimation was. Originally, I gave you 140x. Now I'm giving you about a 40x. If you are not understanding the reasons behind that, the reasons behind that is because the people that are tasked with building and growing, the people that are creating opportunity here for you, some of them are going to need some direction. Not only that, remember, Diamond Hands has created WISO World for you. So, there are a lot of different protocols that are out here. There are a lot of different reasons for you to engage with this ecosystem, and rather than make this into a problem, it feels like to me we should be working together on a solution, and that we at least should recognize that everything we've done to further decentralization so far, without a steering committee, without a group of people pointing us in an obvious direction to say that this is the priority, without that, then guess what? We are adrift and rudderless. And, you want the truth? That's the truth. The truth is that we've got to do a better job. That means everybody. That doesn't mean me or Jesus is Lord. I'll never agree with things that Jesus is Lord does. I just will not, fundamentally. But we can exist in the same ecosystem. I'll never agree with everything that Happy Caddy Crypto. But that doesn't mean we can't exist in the same ecosystem. I mean, for him, it meant that. But I don't think that's true at all. I think there's an opportunity here, and we're going to need a rallying cry. And somebody's going to have to be in charge. There's going to have to be an adult in the room. And listen, let me tell you why anybody who's complaining about centralization to me is just silly, okay? And I'm going to give it to you in 3 words because it's going to be very, very simple. It's going to be CZ Binance. For 2.5 years, we've seen people like Mr. Diamond Hands. Every time CZ Binance does anything, reposts it, retweets it, wants CZ Binance to be a leadership person, tells you all the time how great it is that Binance is part of that leadership, that Binance is currently doing something to help Terra Luna Classic. He's showing appreciation every single day, right? Well, that's the leadership that have. That's Binance, CZ Binance. That's our leader, if you will. Because Duquan, nope. Chris Amani, get out of here. Fleece Cannon, really? Terraform Labs, no bueno. CZ Binance has been our de facto leader, and he doesn't even do anything for the ecosystem, but we show him tons of appreciation. And by the way, I say Mr. Diamond Hands because he's the easiest example because he's the most famous, but CZ Binance doesn't do anything for us. He burns some tokens. He burns less than $1 billion a month right now. Used to be a little bit more, but I mean, if CZ Binance, here's the question. If CZ Binance today went onto Twitter and he said to all of these I can turn Luna Classic into a top 10 coin, I can do it within 6 months. All I need is for you to put me. You tell me how you think all of these people would vote. Now, once you decide how those people would vote, look at their voting record. It would be different if it was CZ because we see Binance. They have a reason. They will have a reason for voting that way. And you know, as well as I do, that all of these people, they're going to vote yes. They're going to say, yes, CZ, rescue us, pump our bags. So in the end, it is, in my opinion, that we are all a little bit disingenuous. The difference between most of these people and me is that I will say it to you. I will say to you that we need more centralization in this ecosystem in terms of we need a committee who is designed to propel us forward. We need oversight to get all of the pieces in place that need to be in place. And by the way, before anybody starts coming with, well, no, pure, these are blah, 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 blah. Before they get into it, there is nothing out here that is purely decentralized in that fashion that is thriving or surviving in these ecosystems. None. They all require some sort of leadership and some person steering us in the right direction. If you don't want a single person, make it a committee, but get something done. We need people like validators. We need people like whales. We need everybody to care about what ecosystem. And if you tell me you do, and you can't explain to me why after 2 years, 2.5 years, we still don't have a website, then you're not thinking clearly to begin with, okay? And by the way, 2 years now, I've been saying the same thing. We don't even have a website. And when we did have a website, I believe that was David Skinder. He started to create a website. He created a website, and then what did we do? We voted him down. Why? Because he would be in control of it. And we have control issues, or we have some kind. We have some kind, right? The same people that want you to pay attention to them, they got a problem. They had a problem with you paying attention to somebody else. So guys, look, ultimately what I'm saying is if we don't get it together, then we are going to be screwed. How do I know that we are going to be screwed? Well, because now we're back down to 225 million being burned over the last 7. These are levels, low levels that we haven't seen in a very, very long time. When we look at what's going on over here, we got 20 in volume, up 72%, but we haven't seen a result from that because that's not how it works. Same thing over here. We've got a little bit of volume coming in, but again, we're under 100 million market cap. We're under 300 market cap. Down. I mean, as this falls apart, as it comes down, then what are we doing? What are we doing? And by the way, if your answer is, oh, sitting at the bottom, then you're absolutely right. And what's going to take us back to the top? Well, really, it comes down to some very, very simple things. It's going to come down to leadership. It's going to come down to building in the ecosystem. It's going to come down to the fundamentals of cryptocurrency. And guess what we're not doing? The fundamentals of cryptocurrency. We don't even have a website. So some of you are going to agree with me on this. Some of you are going to disagree with this. Some of you are going to have your own hot takes about other problems. And some of you are going to, well, don't you think that whatever is going to be an even bigger problem? I'm not saying that there are not problems that are not identified, that I'm not identifying right now. I'm saying, fundamentally speaking, we can't even get a website underway with the way that we are currently set up. So things are very, very weird. And by the way, if we don't have leadership, then what are we going to do in the bull run? Probably nothing. That's why I gave you 40x instead of 100. It's very, very simple. The leadership, despite the fact that you may not like this or you may disagree with this, fundamentally the leadership is the validators. Have the validators done anything for you? Also, are the validators voting the way that you want the votes to go? And if they are not, I would implore you, validate with people who are. If everything that Diamond Hand says on Twitter you agree with, you should be validating. And by the way, you should hedge. Don't give it to all one validator. It's fine. But find people that vote the way you want, validate with them so that they increase your voting power. And if you just looked at something and saw that it said Jesus is Lord and you validated with them because they said Jesus is Lord, shame on you for falling for that. You can be religious if you want. You can believe in whatever deity you want to believe in. But that's not a reason to validate. Validating is because they do what you want to see done. They vote the way your conscience tells you. That's how you validate. Validate with the people whose beliefs align with your own. And if you're validating with Jesus is Lord and his beliefs align with yours, continue to do it. But at the end of the day, don't be surprised when the same people who you've been validating with right now, who have led you this far, or should I say this far down, continue to lead you down that path. And don't let the fact that money is coming back into the market and that we're probably going to get a pump very, very soon, don't let that get in the way of your reality, because your reality is that there's a lot of people who've been doing you a disservice in this blockchain for a long period of time, and it's time that they started doing something for you. At least that's what. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and remember, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right.